Look at that. HD setup. Instant. I don't know why I had my software tweaked the way I had it tweaked, but once I saw something and I tweaked it this way and tweaked it that way, it just like boom, 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 box started to fall in place. Let's see if this is a final solution and not just like a prototype solution. But hell yeah, this looks really good. All of a sudden my computer just
My sweet girl reads me like a book.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. May I help you?
I don't know if a third opinion is needed. Your colleagues are already arguing about my condition.
I see. Would you mind telling me more about your situation?
I'm Harvey Fiddick. All I want is to get me bloody arm fixed properly.
Are you satisfied with your treatment here?
Well, it's clear that I've chosen a bad time to be injured. Forgive my bluntness, but you seem overwhelmed by cases of the flu.
I won't lie to you about it. I'm afraid we are.
Are you sure you don't want to operate yourself, Dr. Reed? I have the feeling you're very capable. And your colleagues seem to think so too.
In other circumstances, you would be right. But for now, I don't think I can take on the responsibility. My apologies. Tell me about yourself, Mr. Fiddick.
I'm just a regular guy waiting to get his arm fixed, so I can return to work and to my family.
I was more curious about what you were doing before being hospitalized.
I'm a carpenter, and a good one too. But that means I need both arms to feed my family, Dr. Reed.
Tell me about your injury, Harvey.
damn.
Why do you feel so guilty about it?
My wife died because of me. And now I may lose everything because I've been careless enough to hurt myself. What an arsehole.
Oh, his wife died during the war. That's rough.
You can't hold yourself responsible for your injury, Mr. Fiddick. Unless you tried to hurt yourself.
Of course I didn't hurt myself. But I can't work until my arm is fixed. My children need to eat, Doctor.
How could your job be responsible for your wife's death?
I was working a double. She went out to bring me a hot meal and got caught in a German bomb raid.
Tell me more about the death of your wife, Harvey.
1915. I was in the army,
That's 3 years
building
ago.
workshops for the Royal Flying Corps. Helen was happy I wasn't sent to the front.
What happened?
The Germans sent Zeppelins to bomb the construction site, but they missed their target. My wife was bringing my dinner when the bombs fell.
I'm sorry for your loss. So many died during the bombings. I served in France and witnessed the carnage there.
I would like to say that she didn't suffer. Truth is, I have no idea. I just know that I'm all that me kids have. Poor little bleeders.
How are your children after losing their mother?
They were smaller then. The only good thing about this is my Helen didn't bring them with her that night.
Oh, isn't that a coincidence? That one night she didn't bring him with him?
Tell me about the doctors who are arguing about your case.
Strickland and Aykroyd. They both want the best for me, but there's a lot of pride there. Doctors are no different from carpenters, it seems.
What do you mean?
I often had professional arguments with rivals on a building site. Difference is I disagreed about wooden nails, not flesh and bones.
That's all I'm gonna get out of him for now. Whew. I tried to type as fast as I could, but without like fudging it up, and I fudged a lot of words up. I sound drunk. It's bad but funny. But I'm telling some.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
Promote the channel and tell people, you know, you should stop on by. I'm gonna play some scary games, zombie games, and story-rich games. You know, just give people some heads up. You know. Where did that letter go? What the hell?
Oh, sweet girl.
It never ceases to amaze me how you the dead.
3 bullets. Dude, look how smooth it's running on the screen. That's fucking amazing.
I cannot enter. Good evening, nurse.
Good evening, Doctor. I don't think we've been introduced yet. My name is Pippa Hawkins.
And I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. Dr. Swansea has recently offered me a position in this hospital.
Well, it's a euphemism that your help will be appreciated, Doctor.
How would you describe the situation at the Pembroke Hospital?
It's serious. The flu is wreaking havoc amongst us and patients. We are running out of everything.
Nurse Hawkins, the Spanish flu won't last forever. Even the Black Plague didn't kill everyone.
I wish I could believe you. But what if this epidemic was worse? What if in the end, nobody was spared?
You must get a hold of yourself, nurse.
Sorry, I'm exhausted. No one has any idea when this epidemic will be over.
How long have you been a nurse?
Well, long enough to see that the epidemic is winning. And no matter how qualified you are, don't tell me you'll change that.
You'd be surprised what dedication can achieve, Nurse Hawkins. In medicine, sometimes we're just a test result away from a miracle.
Sorry, Doctor. I don't want to sound bitter, but I'm just too tired to give a pep talk like Nurse Brannigan.
How is the Pembroke staff coping with the epidemic?
Well, not well. Milton, the ambulance driver, is even more grumpy than usual, especially concerning doctors.
Why does Milton dislike doctors?
I don't know. Just ask him. But be warned, Milton is not the chatty type.
Why is Milton grumpy on a daily basis? Is it just an act?
Milton's not the kind of man who's bothered about a bad reputation, whether he deserved it or not.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins. Dr. Swansea is right. This place seems perfect to conduct my research.
Surely I can endure.
Good evening, sir.
So it is true. The famous Dr. Reed has joined us. I can't think of any better news during these terrible times.
Do we know each other?
Actually, yes. We met once before, at the Rockefeller University in New York.
Dr. Tippett, yes, I remember. I was assisting Professor Carell in his research about coronary bypasses. He had nothing but praise for you.
He was also very confident about your future. And look at you now. Eminent surgeon and blood transfusion specialist.
Damn it, I was talking with the mic muted again. I'm gonna test one more theory. Hold on, guys. Alright, mass airflow, baby.
What is the Pembroke Hospital situation? And please, speak freely.
This hospital is not exactly the best of London. I'm sure you are used to working in a better environment.
This is my first time talking to Mr. Tibbetts. Where does he land on the scope? Down here.
It's not exactly the best situation in London either. I can't have expected this hospital to be prepared for what was to come.
Don't be misled by appearances, Dr. Reed. This hospital does not lack talented people. It just lacks hope.
What can you tell me about the staff in the hospital?
Some are really good, and others are not so good. But during this troubled period, there is no time for slander. I prefer to focus on the positive character traits.
Tell me more about cherished people, then.
Nurse Brannigan is a pearl. She is the most helpful and dedicated nurse I've ever worked with. A clever and cheerful woman.
You really seem to admire her skills.
I'll go even further. If she was a man, she would be a damn fine practitioner.
Damn. He's speaking up for the lady.
Any opinion about the management?
I don't always agree with Dr. Swansea's reserve, but I must admit he does all he can to keep this facility running during this crisis.
Ah yes, the burden of command. I was fed up with this concept while serving as a medical officer.
Don't get me wrong. Swansea's a good administrator. I just wish he would get out of his office down again.
Goodbye, Dr. Tibbets.
I just ran into that guy outside. Oh, this is the guy who's doing the underground trading.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'm new here.
I've already heard about you, Dr. Reed. I'm Milton Hooks, the ambulance driver for this shithole of a hospital.
That's quite a blunt introduction, Mr. Hooks.
You can call me Milton. I like to speak my mind, Dr. Reed. Perk of the job. Don't judge me, and I won't judge you.
I'm not sure I understand what you're talking about.
Well, I'm no doctor, but I'm pretty sure a gun can't be used as a surgical instrument.
You have a keen eye. I learned to shoot during the war, and have carried one ever since. Old habits die hard.
No need to explain, Dr. Reed.
This guy's automatically
If you ever
pressing
need
me.
a better gun, remember, I may have something for you.
Oh, never mind. Now he's like, hey, I got you, bro.
I'd like to see your...
Wise choice, Dr. Reed.
I only have 63. I literally have nothing to sell. What is he? He doesn't really sell any medical supplies, but he sells stuff for my gun.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still...
How is the situation around here?
You want to hear the situation is all right? It's fucking awful. We lack everything, and it's getting worse every day.
So what do you do exactly in this hospital? Apart from smuggling guns, I mean.
I've been an ambulance driver since... too long, I guess. I bring sick people here night and day. It's a dirty job, but I get it done. Most of the time.
Since you're on the front line, how is the sanitary situation in this vicinity?
It's a complete disaster. It's even getting dangerous to enter some streets or buildings. Even the locals attack you.
Oh, that's great.
It sounds like things have been a bit rough recently. What's happened?
Yesterday I got attacked by the patient I was bringing in. I escaped through the hospital's garden, but I lost my wallet when I was running.
You left an infected patient outside the hospital. That's incredibly dangerous.
Go there yourself if you want, but be careful, Doctor. I'd rather not bring your dead body back.
Are you really smuggling weapons through the hospital?
And why not? I've already been attacked by patients, you know. And by gang members willing to steal my money.
But you're not defending yourself. You're selling guns to civilians.
You keep people alive your own way, Doctor. I offer them another way to protect their health.
Why do you have such a mediocre reputation among your colleagues,
goddamn.
Milton?
So
Fuck
straightforward.
them. Nobody knows the horrors I've seen since working here. This city was sick long before the epidemic, Dr. Reed.
I know it's a difficult task, but correct me if I'm wrong. Is this not the job you are paid to do?
I've seen babies left to die while their brothers were properly fed. Underage girls and boys sold to all manner of perverts.
I'm sorry, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, exactly. We lack words. So excuse me if I don't look on the bright side of life.
Do you need any medical help, Milton?
I'm fine, Doc. Physically, at least. But I would give everything to be in a better place right now.
Tell me why you're extorting money from some of the patients here.
If a patient wants a bed, he'll have to pay me a little fee. That's all.
Where did you get the idea for such an immoral scam?
Funny you should ask. The first
Scam.
time it was from a patient who bribed me to get a bed. It's only then I realized I could make a fortune.
I'd like to...
Why?
You do not look good. I don't think you're gonna make it. You look like that guy, so you're definitely gonna die. I want to get to that unknown. Can I slide tackle? Look how good that's running. Oh yeah. Oh, did she just shut me out?
It's locked, all right.
Time to talk to people.
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Goodbye,
not
Nurse.
it, but then. Who is it that I need to fucking... Oh, who are you?
I have wasted too much energy for so little result.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon at the Pembroke Hospital. And who are you?
Your name has no meaning to me, mortal. You're nothing but dust blown by the winds of eternity.
I beg your pardon?
What are you begging for, mortal? My clemency? Well, tonight maybe I'm inclined to mercy. You'll never forget the night you met Thelma Howcroft.
You keep calling me mortal. Why is that? And if I'm mortal...
What does that make you?
Well, Dr. Reed, if you must know, I'm a vampire.
And why do you believe you're a vampire?
I don't need to believe anything. It is what I am. It is what I feel within this hollow shell of flesh.
Please, describe to me how you feel. What is it like to be a vampire?
I can hear my body crumble from the inside as my flesh cracks and fades. I sense the last pulse of postulant blood within my drying veins. I need new blood.
I'm assuming you must be a patient here. Am I right, Miss Howcroft?
It's only a cover. To hide from my enemies. I can leave whenever I want. As a woman, a spirit, fog, or bat.
Who are these enemies you mentioned? Can you describe them?
I cannot say for sure. But I sense their eyes on me from nearby. I feel them watching me every time I visit the garden near the morgue.
The staff here are not your enemy. They're here to help you, to care for you.
I'm not speaking of the doctors in white. I'm speaking of the men and women who hunt me. For I am a vampire!
I see. Don't worry. These people will not find you here. I'll personally make sure they leave you alone.
Thank you, mortal. But do not interfere with them, for you are no match for those that hunt me.
Do you require my services, Miss Howcroft?
I have no need for your medicine, Dr. Reed. Blood is the only drug I need.
Who are you really, Miss Howcroft? I mean, apart from being a vampire.
Is that not enough for you, puny mortal? What do you require? Proof of my powers?
I'm curious to know who you were before becoming a vampire.
No, it's such a long time ago, I don't remember. Centuries of unholy life can have strange effects on one's minds, you see?
Interesting.
I'm assuming you must be a patient here. Am I right, Miss Howcroft?
It's only a cover. To hide from my enemies. I can leave whenever I want. As a woman, a spirit, fog, or bat.
And why do you believe you're a vampire?
I don't need to believe anything. It is what I am. It is what I feel within this hollow shell of flesh.
I see. Have you ever heard of Cotard syndrome, Miss Howcroft?
Never.
It's a mental illness discovered by a French neurologist named Jules Cotard. The affected patients are delusional. They believe that they are putrefying, that they are dead, a ghost or a ghoul, or in your case, a vampire.
Delusional, you say? Oh, sad and petty mortal. You can't even begin to understand the concept of immortality. And you think it is I who am delusional.
So it's a fact that she's affected by that?
I'm assuming you must...
It's a...
I'll leave you.
Still standing after this epidemic. There's good reason to get tired.
There you are.
Good evening, nurse. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed, the new surgeon here at the Pembroke.
Dr. Swansea has already told us about you, sir. I'm Nurse Gwyneth Brannigan. Welcome to the Pembroke Hospital.
Did he really? It's a good thing I wasn't hoping to keep a low profile.
All members of staff have already read about your new blood transfusion technique. Dr. Swansea made sure of that.
I see. Well, I'm a little surprised, but I suppose I'll just have to deal with this unexpected notoriety.
Dude
You
works
must know,
quick.
blood transfusions are Dr. Swansea's primary subject of research. He is convinced it is the future. say the least. We're struggling against an invisible enemy, more lethal than any bullet from a gun. It's hard, Doctor.
An invisible enemy? Quite a poetic term for a disease, especially from a nurse.
Sorry, Doctor. These last few weeks have been exhausting. We could all do with a good night's sleep.
Do you think this hospital can survive the epidemic?
We are all volunteers here, and we're trying to hold fast, but how do we beat an invisible killer? Some nurses have already resigned.
Jeez. She's overqualified. Are they married? Or is it just a personal opinion?
I'm not familiar with all the staff yet. Perhaps you could help me.
Brilliant professionals, most of them. Dr. Swansea has a gift for recruiting talent.
Most of them? Is there a problem I should know about, nurse?
It would be inappropriate for me to speak ill of a colleague.
Is there anyone that stands out?
Well, I have never met someone as dedicated as Dr. Tippett. He should be a standard for us all here. If only he were younger.
Why should his age be a problem?
I guess it's fair to say he's always pushing himself to the limits. He just doesn't know when to stop and get some rest.
Nurse Brannigan, if you do know something, please tell me. Anything you say will be held in confidence.
No. I may disagree with some conduct, but in the end, everybody is doing their best.
Oh, interesting. A gray Jedi.
Do you require medical assistance, nurse?
Thank you for your concern, but I'm
Why does Dr. Tippett claim you're the main reason he keeps working, despite his fatigue?
If it wasn't for him, I probably would have left the Pembroke years ago.
Dr. Tippett does not think of you as just a nurse anymore, does he?
If you're suggesting he's not taking my gender into consideration when it comes to medical practice and knowledge, I really hope he doesn't.
I'm not familiar with all the stuff.
Brilliant professionals.
Most...
It would...
Goodbye, nurse.
There it is.
I cannot enter. Good evening, Dr. Tippett.
Dr. Reed.
You're exhausting yourself, Corcoran. Maybe you should think about preserving your strength.
No. We must keep on healing all those poor souls. We are the last rampart before chaos. Once more, unto the breach.
Rampart into 4 chaos. That's such a, like, I want to say stoic way of looking at it, but It's also foolish under the current circumstances and how limited like the resources of doctors are. You know, knowledge. You know, yeah, you're on the forefront, but you shouldn't exhaust yourself to the point of, you know.
Nurse Brannigan is worried about you, Doctor.
She should not have told you that. I will have a word with her.
You don't have to blame her for her honesty.
I'm not that kind of man, my dear Jonathan. Actually, Nurse Brannigan's opinion is the only one I may listen to.
Did I do good?
Do you need any medical assistance yourself, Doctor?
Come on, don't be ridiculous.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett. Good evening, Nurse.
Good evening.
Dang,
Goodbye,
I thought
nurse.
I got.
Call me if you need assistance.
Yeah, who are these people all of a sudden? Oh, it's the father. Before I do anything, it's this guy. Do I get details like on him as a character or not yet? Okay.
Good
Tell me,
evening,
Mr.
Mr. Hampton. How do you feel?
Dr. Reed, is it? Oh, sir, I must apologize for my behavior.
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory. Fear and exhaustion made me say awful things to you, I'm afraid.
You remained perfectly nice and polite. A little delirious, perhaps. But who wouldn't be after enduring an abduction?
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief. Now all I need to do is rest and return to my flock.
Do you know Tom Watts, the bartender from the Turtle? I met him before I found you in the canning factory.
Tom? Yes, of course. Always the helping hand, good old Tom. Without men like him, corruption and despair would have wiped out the East End long ago.
What's more important, corruption or despair? Corruption causes despair, right? Despair could cause the need to be corrupt because you think it's the way to get ahead.
Who should I avoid in this part of town, then? Any particularly evil figures?
Not really. Most men and women are just doing their best. And it's not my habit to speak ill of people I know, Doctor.
People are still in despair.
How could it be otherwise? The authorities have left us all to rot in this contagious nightmare. No drugs, no advice, nothing. It's a damn shame.
How did you end up in William Bishop's den?
I had received alarming news about his recent behavior. I went to his place and he refused to let me go.
Why did he abduct you?
William was an alcoholic. His addiction suddenly changed to blood. I don't know why. Just like a patient I met here. This Miss Hawcroft.
You dared to enter this awful place alone. You're a hero, Mr. Hampton. Or a fool.
I'm just a man trying to help his friends, Dr. Reed. William Bishop was a conflicted soul, searching for light.
What is the general situation in the East End docks?
The situation has always been tough, with a lot of tensions between the gangs and the Dockers Trade Union. The Wet Boot Boys are very nervous since they lost their leader.
Who leads the gang now?
Since Clay
That's
Cox
wealth
went
of
missing, it's his
information.
wife Edwina who runs the show. with the assistance of her minion, Dooth Digby.
Has the gang been threatening you?
Ah, no. I've had this nickname for so long. You know, the sad saint of the East End. No one dares to bug a saint. Not even criminals.
How do you feel, Mr. Hampton? Medically speaking, I mean.
I feel exhausted. Beyond exhaustion, actually. William drank so much of my blood in his madness. I feel empty.
You're in good hands here. Dr. Swansea is well versed in blood transfusion, and I'm sure he'll take the best care of you.
Thank you, sir. I believe all I need is rest. And then I can go back to the people who need me.
There are like 3 blood transfusion supreme doctor people all at once in one area in a supreme epidemic. Like there's Swansea, me, and then there's that kid who's doing his own blood fusion techniques, you know.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Hampton?
That aren't successful.
I can't help but notice the cross around your neck.
I manage a night asylum for the poor and homeless of the docks. And I try to guide the lost and hesitant on the right path to our Lord.
Are you a priest, Mr. Hampton? A deacon, maybe?
Not at all, Doctor. I'm just a man of faith willing to preach the good word.
Why didn't you use your cross against William Bishop? To repel him somehow?
That's a very strange question, Doctor. A cross is no magical token. That's what you were trying to say. Not mine, anyway.
That is weird, because how did that other guy repel us then?
Have you made friends since you arrived?
Not really, but I recognized Miss Harriet Jones. I knew her when she lived by the docks. That poor woman had such a miserable life.
You never came to see her here at Pembroke? Receiving visits when sick can be an important part of the healing process, you know. We're not just bodies.
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor. To be truly honest, I thought she was dead. She left the docks many months ago.
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton. We'll talk again later.
Did I get anything from that conversation? Oh, this is Tom's. Tom and William Bishop, huh? Where's William? There, you know. I don't fucking know. We'll find him soon enough.
It's locked, all right. Good evening, Miss Howcroft. I'll leave.
Damn.
Good evening, sir.
Unless you're...
I'm Dr.
You guessed right, Doc.
How is...
Oh, it's...
Can I ask...
It's the pain.
Who is treating you? Is someone in particular looking after your case?
Nobody since the old and tired doctor spoke to me. Started to think I was forgotten about. Wouldn't blame you.
You don't seem worried by that.
My face hurts so much more when I smile or cry. I've learned it's easier not to speak.
That's fucked up.
But be assured I'm smiling inside.
Can I do anything for your pain?
Nurses gave me a bunch of pills. No effect. Told you. It's like the flames are under my skin, burning away.
How close are you to Miss Hawcroft? Are you aware that she thinks she is a vampire?
To wait for her next nibble is the best reason to stay here. Every time she approaches my bed, she treats me like something tasty. A normal person.
Aren't you afraid? She may hurt you if the game goes too far.
She's quite harmless, I can assure you. Her head's broken inside is all. while I'm busted on the outside. But she's still beautiful. Living proof that there's hope for me.
So do you let her bite you? You know that's not sanitary.
And why not? She's only supping a few drops of me blood. And the pain, it's real for once.
She could decide to bite less willing patients.
Then it's another good reason for me to stay here, Doctor.
You do realize she's mentally disturbed. It's called the Cotter syndrome. She truly believes she's a vampire.
In her madness, she never referred...
Where were you stationed, sir? Did you say...
I really don't want to...
No offense.
You were an...
Goodbye for now, Mr.
So this is like what, just after World War One, or during World War One sometime?
Daily routine.
And there you go, guys. Finally made it up the second stairs.
Not now.
Oh, that's Swanson. Just looking around for some extra clues before, you know. Of course. T. Elwood medical file. Thompson. Patient. Thompson's Elwood, Mage 28. Dr. Tibbetts. Consultants. 16. Release date to be determined. The patient's face has been heavily burnt with disfigured by a bomb during the war. Even used the strongest sedative, he affirms that regularly enduring severe pain from the wound, as if the flames are still burning his skin. He says examinations of the cauterized tissue shows no trace of inflammation, infection, and swelling. The scars are clean. Could it be the case of that persisting nerve damage? The patient never ceases to blame himself for his disfiguration. Could it be the case of guilt of the survivor? Phantom pain manifesting as a punishment for not dying in comrades? Wow, that guy is like deep dive like into it. And who said that was Tibbetts? The guy who's working too hard.
It's locked. It's locked, all right. It's locked. It's locked. This must be the place. It's definitely away from prying eyes. Relegated to the shadows. A kingdom of my own. At least I won't be sleeping in a coffin.
How tacky, but yeah. Oh my lord. article of Echelons. It's a rare opportunity and most privileged approach of vampire to observe the most intriguing physical, psychological traits, scientific, and rational eye. Here are some of the most fascinating abilities. Supernatural speed, mimetism, can deploy capacity, force them to obey, but that has nothing to do with blah blah blah. Blood awareness. So it's just describing my abilities. Thank goodness. I was like, this is a story? Oh. This guy just, what, stabbed a letter on the wall? Dear Jonathan, I asked Nurse Crane to secure an office for you on the second floor. Please forgive the artistry of the decor, but Primbrook Hospital is not exactly the Ritz. Sorry to let you discover your office alone, but I need to sleep a little before going back to work. I'm just a mere mortal after all. I gave orders to let you rest, for the staff will never enter your room. You will be able to sleep all day without being disturbed, and work at night without raising any suspicion. I'm afraid the place is quite messy, but you'll be able to conduct your experiments here on your own in peace. You'll notice there is an open window with the scaffolding to allow you to enter and exit the hospital without being noticed. Imagine how awfully new and disturbing this must be for you. Believe me, I have been studying enough of your species to understand what you must be facing and feeling. Be assured, I'll do whatever I can to help you within this ordeal. Know that you're not completely alone in facing. I'm glad to meet you. These dark times we're all presently facing. I hope our future collaboration will yield great results. Welcome to Primbrook, my esteemed colleague. We shall talk soon. Yours sincerely, Edgar Griffith Swanson. P.S. I'll offer a copy of my notes concerning what you have discovered in Eklon in the last few years. Feel free to read about it if you need some guidance, as long as you don't use this knowledge to take advantage of me. I still can't make this yet. Dang it. I just want to take care of the people.
William Bishop's blood is much more unstable than human blood and shows extensive mutation. But this is not what happened to me. I must keep on searching. The sun is about to rise. I can feel it. I'll continue tomorrow night. I have so much time now.
Milton. Where are you, Milton? Oh, hey, look, I got in.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed. Can I help at all?
No.
Really? Why are you here, then?
I don't want to talk. My throat hurts too much.
I suppose that this pain is the reason you're here. Is someone taking care of you?
Yes. And no.
Could you at least tell me your name, sir?
Mortimer. Mortimer Goswick.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
I'm sure you realize a doctor and his patient have to communicate, sir. Would it help if I gave you some paper and a pen?
Not really.
I see. Then maybe it's not just your throat that hurts, Mr. Goswick. Perhaps your sore throat is just the consequence of something more hurtful.
Yes, maybe. But I don't want to talk or even write about it now.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Goswick.
I don't want to talk, Doctor.
I have to go now, sir.
I'm all right. Don't waste your time with me.
Good evening.
It's my son.
I'm
bit. No. I'm a teacher.
Are you?
Yes.
What do you think of your reception here? Any complaints?
I have had the uttermost reservations about this hospital since we arrived. But we had no other choice, considering the state of emergency.
Is there something in particular that's bothering you?
Some of the staff were not especially welcoming. I suspect they're not accustomed to dealing with patients of such social standing.
She went there.
Tell me more about your arrival at the Pembroke Hospital. What gave you such a bad first impression?
The ambulance driver was quite rude, for a start. And that nurse, Miss Hawkins, seems to have quite a dubious attitude.
What do you mean?
She managed to secure a bed for my son despite the epidemic. It was a relief, but it wasn't cheap.
She charged you for a bed?
Yes, and I paid without question, considering the urgency of the situation.
I share your concern, Mrs. Goswick. Be sure that I'll talk to the people involved.
I don't expect compensation, Dr. Reed. But I'm aware such behavior would not be tolerated in other hospitals.
Damn, it's not my fault, lady.
Do you require medical attention as well, Mrs. Goswick?
I have other concerns.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick. Good evening, Mr. Goswick.
I'm okay.
Do you need any help?
I'm afraid I'm...
I will see you later. I have to go now.
Good evening, sir. Doctor.
Good evening, Miss...
I'm okay.
Do you need any help?
I'm afraid I...
You are not a burden, sir. Healing you is my responsibility.
And you have my gratitude for that.
Why did your mother have you hospitalized here? She seems convinced this is a bad hospital.
My mother just wants the best for me. She won't rest while I'm here. She'd go all the way to hell and back to help me.
Pembroke Hospital may look unorthodox, but rest assured you're in good hands here.
It's not me you have to convince, Dr. Reed. It's my mother.
Is your mother bothering you? As your doctor, I can ask her to leave you alone if you would prefer.
That's tempting, Doctor. But you have no idea what my mother is capable of. She would tie herself to my bed if you asked her to leave.
Damn. Alright, mission accepted. I'm a vampire.
How painful. I'll let you...
Good evening, sir. Doctor.
Good evening, Doctor.
Tell me...
The ambulance...
What do you mean?
She managed...
Okay, well, I guess I can't challenge her.
Goodbye, Mrs.
Maybe not yet. Damn, dude, where are you?
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening.
I'd like...
Wise choice. Another night with the glorious battalion of Pembroke.
Do not cough in public. Prevent disease. Careless spitting, sneezing, coughing, spread influenza. Please spread the droplets sprayed from the nose and throat. Do not cough in public. We're gonna be a weird kind of vampire. That seems interesting. Level 8 required. Okay, there you go. That's what makes sense now. One day later.
If I'm to stay here until my research is complete, I'd better learn to hide my true nature from the mortals. But what about my thirst for blood?
Answer the door. Apparently someone's gonna knock at the door. Dude, I need to learn how to fucking make this shit as soon as possible. Yeah, sorry nurse, I'm on my way. Hi nurse.
Yes, Nurse Crane? How can I help you?
I'm so sorry. I know Dr. Swansea wanted you to rest, but we have somewhat of a crisis.
A crisis, you say?
Our supply of antiseptics is nearly depleted. I was hoping there was another box up here, but...
Oh, that's weird.
What type of hospital are you running? No antiseptics?
You have been away too long, Doctor. With the war and now this epidemic, supplies have been running scarce for months now.
I may have a solution. In France, during the war, drugs shortage was a daily problem, and we had to use our wits to overcome the shortages.
However do you mean?
If combined correctly, certain household chemical products can be used in a pinch instead.
Do not try this at
Now,
home.
where's the hospital storeroom?
The storeroom? Fat chance. This is the Pembroke, and space is luxury we don't have. Everything used to be stored in the old morgue.
Perhaps I should look there first. Where is this morgue?
It's the large building behind the hospital. You'll need to go in the back door because it's been sealed off for sanitary reasons. Take this key. It opens a small back entrance at the end of a narrow street.
The abandoned morgue behind the hospital. A small door at the end of a narrow street. On my way then. Thank you, nurse.
Isn't that fucking ominous?
Please come back later.
It's been a whole day, my guy.
Time has lost its effect on me, but the suffering continues.
Yes, Doctor?
Why then do you always work the nights? Don't you ever sleep?
At the Pembroke, we're always hands on deck.
Your dedication
Like
to
hand
the
on
Pembroke
blood.
does you credit, Nurse Crane, but when do you sleep?
We staff get our sleep when we can, Doctor. Nursing is a vocation, not the labor of a journeyman.
Lack of sleep and the medical profession always ends in disaster. I've witnessed many a colleague succumb to stimulants to fight exhaustion. Drugs were as deadly as bullets in the trenches.
London's trenches start here at Pembroke Hospital. We are on the front line, make no mistake.
She's got a point.
Exactly.
It really
Please.
It's the Lord.
That's all for now. No.
Effect on me, but the suffering continues.
The giant.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Goodbye, nurse.
A giant morgue disguised as a hospital.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Why is this old guy pushing himself so hard?
Goodbye,
That's
nurse.
ridiculous.
Call me. Thelma Howcroft said she was being watched by vampire hunters. Where are they hiding? I should investigate.
Should investigate. No questions asked. Quarantine. Quarantine contagious disease. One shall enter or leave quarantine area without written of local health authority. The authority of employee shall alter, destroy, remove his card. Violation regarded will be fined. Quarantine, keep out of this area by order of health. Scary. Photograph a wallet of a smiling, loving couple, written on the back, Milton and Pippa forever.
So, Mr. Hooks and Nurse Hawkins are an item.
What? Okay, it makes sense.
Those two have hidden their affections well.
Nice. Shotgun. Should I have a shotgun already? No, they're gonna just take me outside. I don't know, being able to come into this whole extra room just for 5 shillings. Bite you back. What the fuck? What the fuck? Dodged a bullet.
Behavior is similar to the infected William Bishop. Must be the same strain. This sickness moves faster than influenza.
Just get my butt kicked.
Balls of Mars, fortifiers. As popular as they are ineffective. But they do contain iron tartrate, and that might prove itself useful. This key will surely grant me access to the basement.
A lot of blood.
I cannot enter.
Dude, he died like against the wall. That sucks, bro. Swing wildly, my guy. Swing wild. Shit, what the fuck? Yo, you guys see that shit?
These skulls feed from corpses and the husks of animals. They're not after.
Pretty sure it's only get a lot harder about this show. So much shotgun ammo. Oh, wasted a bullet. Damn, what happened to you, my guy? Death report. New citizen investigation available. Fisherman, natural, fast progressing pneumonia virus induced.
Mr. Connor's injuries don't match the report. I'd better look into this. Traces of a pinkish foam at the corner of the lips. Some sort of drug overdose, perhaps? Multiple abrasions and scarring on the arms and legs. Old and distinctive injuries of a sailor or a fisherman. The chest was originally opened to perform the operation. The sutures are clean, but the chest has been reopened. A puncture over the left lung, possibly a chest tube insertion. Not the cleanest work, but I think it was successful. Signs of internal bleeding. So, Dr. Tippett's anesthetics were incorrectly dosed, causing the patient's death. And then, he tried to operate on him again. Tippett has made an egregious error. It's time we talked. Tippett has made an
Oh, the sleepy dude killed that guy? And that's why he probably is trying to work so hard, because he's trying to cover up for killing this guy.
Tippett has made an
Damn it.
It's locked, all right.
He said you made an egregious error. What the hell? What an epic ending.
These scars can be...
Hell yeah.
Oh, ferocious. I'm not sure I can defeat them without becoming stronger.
Oh, what the fuck? Hell yeah, dude. You need
To
to
drink
get
blood is so tempting. Sodium hypochlorite. Dangerous to administer, but efficient in the proper dosage.
That shit was rough. Drain 60 blood. Treatment for cold, bronchitis, and pneumonia. Okay, so people are gonna start getting real sick. on why they put the breakable. Whoa. Careful there, my guy. You guys are gonna help me become a better vampire. Can't loot them or anything.
Never ceases to amaze me how you...
Good evening, Doc. Are you afraid? Why should... Sir. How did you... After I left... Do you work? Yes, but... What? Because... Why, it was first... I don't... When we... Funny... Up, yes. What kind? With the quad? Who? I'm there. Since you're not afraid of dying, do you believe in life after death, Rakesh? No. I believe we must do all the good we can while alive. For our time is short, and the obstacles are endless. Do you think you would enjoy immortality as a concept? I don't think so. Don't mistake me. I love life, and I'd like to live a long life. But everything has to decay, sir. Even goodwill.
Interesting.
Do you really believe goodwill cannot last? As I said, sir, everything decays. If I was to never die, goodness, I would be bored or worse. And I like to be helpful, sir. Quite depressing, wouldn't you say? Yes. But the good news is, we'll all die before losing our humanity, sir. So you're ready to die? No, I am not. I don't fear death, for I won't see it.
What troubles me is the pain my death will inflict to those I know.
You're a wise man, Mr. Chidama.
No, Dr. Reed. I am a foolish man. But I like to think otherwise.
A lot of philosophy.
Please show me what you have to sell.
Of course. It's just trinkets and curios, really. But I'm sure they can be useful.
To take to fix me properly, man. A year. You have the right to disapprove of our methods, and you will kindly apologize when you're feeling better.
Good evening, Mr. God.
I'm okay.
Do you need any help?
I'm afraid I may, sir. I don't mean to be a burden.
I came straight to this guy.
You are not a burden, sir. Healing you is my responsibility.
And you have my gratitude for that.
How
so painful I've rather.
Why did your...
My mother...
I have to...
Good evening, sir. Doctor.
Good evening, Doc.
Goodbye, Miss...
Yes, Doc.
That's all.
I'm alright. Don't waste your time with me.
Good evening, Miss...
I'm okay.
I have to go now.
I'm alright. Don't waste your time with me.
Couldn't keep anything from her.
Good evening, Miss...
Good evening, Doc.
Is there anything else that's bothering you?
I'm all right.
Tell me up
my what?
Goodbye for...
Oh, I need to find Tibbets. I need to fucking... Oh, me and Mr. Tibbets here.
You at our side, Dr. Reed.
Please, Doctor. Oh, we about to lay us. I'm about to lay the smackdown.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doc.
I have...
What?
I retreat...
Well, yeah.
Not at all, Milton.
Good. Please, take...
I did not mean to skip all that.
Do you need any medical...
I'm fine.
I'd like...
Wise choice.
Get over here now!
Good evening, Mr. Cox.
Dr. Reed. Still working at night, I see. I like that.
And why is that?
People who don't sleep at night always seem more alive to me. More interesting, one way or another.
Yeah, let me get a snack.
Do you ever think about that poor fellow I saw you push in the water?
The wound he gave me will make sure I don't forget him. It still fucking hurts. Boss had cut me good.
What did he want? Revenge?
I recently had to kill his brother. Poor arsehole thought it would be easy to return the favour.
Only the strongest survive, then? Survival at all costs. Is that all you think about?
I'm the toughest bastard you'll ever meet, Dr. Reed. And I don't give a fuck what you think of me.
That man was determined to murder you. You almost died.
What a surprise. The first time I met him, he nearly shit himself. Fucking coward. I guess revenge gives you balls.
How is your hospitalization going, Mr. Cox?
This is a shitty place with shitty staff. But as long as I'm treated alright, I'll be fine.
What's wrong with the hospital?
Come on, Dr. Reed. The place is a dump. Smelly, sad and dirty.
But you're alive thanks to the efforts and dedication of the staff here, aren't you?
What are you expecting, a medal? I thought that saving lives was just part of the job. Must be an unsatisfactory profession at this time, I'm sure.
What's wrong with the Pembroke staff?
That bastard you sent to bring me here, Milton. I thought he was going to break all my bones before I reached my bed.
I see. Any other smart comments?
The nurses aren't too ugly. Especially that foxy one, Nurse Crane. Pretty brunette, tough attitude, all like that.
So I'm gonna have to make more potions.
How long do you think you can escape the law, Clay?
I know this city like the back of my hand, Doc. I know its streets, who to pay, who to avoid, and who to bully. I won't get caught.
We can't escape the consequences of our actions. The past catches up with us in the end.
I ain't afraid of death. I don't hide who I am. I live my life honestly, which is more than I could say for most folks.
And who are you, then?
I'm the leader of the Wet Boot Boys. One day, I'll leave this shitty place and punch in the face all who thought I would not come back.
What homeboy? Where's homeboy? Which homeboy are you talking about? Might as well heal him so he can go become a gang leader, right? If I'm a good doctor. Or I can just suck his blood because I'm a vampire.
I'll leave you for now. Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
Tell me what Dr. Tippett did. I know his mistake caused a patient's death.
If I had not covered up his error, Dr. Tippett would have been fired from this hospital. I could not let that happen.
You can't allow your emotions to dictate your conduct concerning patients, Nurse Brannigan.
Look around you, Dr. Reed. Do you really think we can afford to lose a brilliant practitioner like Dr. Tippett's in our situation?
Perhaps you did it with the best intentions, Nurse Brannigan, but you took a great risk. Must I remind you that a man died?
You mean you've never made a mistake? Never covered your tracks?
I don't say that.
Come on, Doctor. I wasn't born yesterday.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
Oh, where's homeboy? Are you talking about the old doctor I'm trying to find? Oh, I'm trying to find his ass right now. There he is. Listen to him.
Horrifying epidemic.
Bro, you fucking up that patient, aren't you?
Good evening, Dr. Tibbets.
Dr. Reed, any good news to share?
I'm about to press you, dog.
Corcoran, I want you to tell me about Mr. Connor. How did he die? What happened?
He was my patient. He died because of my mistake. That's the blunt truth.
Who was this patient?
I don't know. Some sick man from the docks, maybe a fisherman. I had no time to talk with him. No one claimed a body.
That's rough.
What was the nature of the mistake?
It was a twofold error. My diagnosis was wrong, and the administered dosage was too strong.
Why not stop practicing?
Are you mad? I killed that man, I admit it, and it won't happen again. I have saved so many lives since then.
What do you guys think? Should we cover for him? Should we cover for the old guy who made a mistake?
I will cover for you, Dr. Tibbets, by keeping what happened to Mr. Connor to myself.
I don't know what to say, actually. I can't exactly force you to become my accomplice.
You didn't force me. This is my decision to make. I believe you're still of use to the hospital, considering the situation.
Then I can make you this promise. As soon as the epidemic is eradicated, I will resign.
What will you do after your resignation? Do you have a plan?
I always fancied visiting Cyprus. Such a beautiful island. I could buy a house there by the sea, read poetry, and wait for death.
Goodbye, Dr. Tibbets. Good evening.
Good evening.
Goodbye, nurse.
Oh, check mark, okay. by 3 points. One goes up by 3 or it goes down by 3. Unknown. Oh, we gotta go find out that guy. Unknown.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Milton cheats patients out of their money at this hospital, Pippa. Are you his accomplice?
Yes, I am.
Is this your definition of being useful? By abusing the sick and poor?
No. It is my definition of getting out of this useless life once and for all.
Why do you do it?
Why not? Most of the sick who paid for a bed are already dead, or will be soon. Don't you see the futility of all this?
How can you be affected by the misery around you, and be so heartless at the same time? Which is the real you, Nurse Hawkins?
I could ask you the same question, Dr. Reed. Are you more real when you lie to a dying patient, or when you grant him useless medication?
Whose idea was it?
What difference does it make? We did it together, and I'm guilty as charged.
Answer my question.
It was my idea first, even though Milton would say it was his, to protect me.
Pepper, I know you're very close to Milton Hooks.
Yes? Milton Hooks is my man.
Yeah.
If you want to report
I'm
me
your
for that,
man.
just feel free, Doctor.
I have no intention of reporting you, Nurse Hawkins. But are you aware of the risks?
The rules say I won't be allowed to work as a nurse anymore. But here at the Pembroke, we break rules all the time.
Is he worth the risk?
Hey, I'm no perfect woman, and Milton is not the finest bloke. But we do our best to get by. That's all any of us can hope for nowadays.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Hey, Doc.
You're lucky to be alive, Mr. Cox. I hope you're starting to take better care of yourself.
This place is full of sickness and decay. How could I get better in such a dump?
Consider yourself lucky that I'm treating all of my patients equally. But don't push your luck.
Don't play the innocent with me. I'm sure you have good reasons to act this way. And also weaknesses that can be exploited.
I'm an asshole.
I'll leave you for now, Mr. Cox.
I just saved your life, mister.
Please, sir. I need help bad.
What's going on?
I'm Blight, sir. Newton Blight. I've lost my mate. Can't find him anywhere.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed from the Pembroke Hospital. Please, calm down and give me more details.
Oswald and myself were both infantry, sir. We were en route for the hospital, but... well, we had a disagreement. And Oswald ran off towards the canal.
How long have you been searching for him?
I can't go there. Too many rats by the water. Fucking rats. Can't stand them since the war, sir. Can't stand them at all.
Don't be ashamed, Mr. Blight. Many soldiers who survived the trenches suffer from musophobia. I'll see what I can do for your friend. What can you tell me about yourself?
I'm Oswald's best friend. We served in the same regiment, sir. Taken care of each other since we came back from the front.
This is a dangerous part of town. What are you doing here?
We were looking for the Pembroke Hospital. We both need help. Treatment, I mean. To get some sleep. Just need to feel better, sir.
What can you tell me about your friend?
His name is Oswald Thatcher. We survived the war together. Oswald is... nervous and quite fragile since we came back from the war.
Where was your friend the last time you saw him?
He went down by the canal. He didn't want to go to the hospital. I think he went to the sewers on purpose. So I couldn't go after him.
I have all the information I need for now. If I find anything out about your friend, I'll let you know as soon as I can.
Thank you, Dr. Reed.
Blood and
What are
soul.
you guys doing now?
They belong to you now.
The life running in your veins. This dead flesh needs it.
Oh, please spare me, Dark Queen. Spare your obedient slave.
You guys getting kinky again?
It's locked, all right.
You discuss on every street corner. The daily routine.
Please, Jonathan, come in. Fascinating, is it not? In the last decade, so many mysteries have been brought to light with our microscopes. The human body, biology's penultimate frontier. The more we explore its boundaries, the less we're able to trace a clear line between life and death. You, my friend, have a foot in both countries. The view must be vertiginous.
It's at least as vertiginous as chatting about vampires with you, I would say.
This must be all so new to you. This area...
I know nothing about this guy.
Area of town, the hospital, a brand new life. How stimulating it must be.
I wish I could share your enthusiasm, Dr. Swansea. but my condition defies scientific categorization. Undead? Unalive? Immortality defies logic.
I cannot express my thrill at this serendipitous turn of events. The world's most eminent specialist in blood transfusions, a vampire. One might say a gift from heaven.
There is an absurd poetry to my situation. Physician, heal thyself.
Forgive me. I've been an admirer of your work for a long time, and now you are so much more than a brilliant physician. And please, call me Edgar.
I'm not some doe-eyed student, Edgar. I understand we both have something to gain from this relationship.
Very well. I have a task for you, Jonathan. Something that will require all your newfound skills.
Please, go on.
The Pembroke only survives through the generosity of our benefactors. Unfortunately, our main donor has found herself in a bit of a bind. Now, if you could help her out...
A spokesman or politician is what you need. That's not my calling. And until I come to understand what has happened to me, I require discretion.
Discretion is in order, Jonathan. Lady Ashbury has recently received rather indelicate correspondence that, if revealed, would jeopardize her position.
And you would like me to eradicate this threat?
By the stole, of course not. I would just like you to pay her a visit. Her ladyship is certainly near the tents outside, tending the sick. You can't miss her. Look for someone impossibly delicate.
Accepted. I'll see what kind of trouble Lady Ashbury is in.
All of a sudden. Interesting.
I have just...
Then ask her...
Since I'm the one working for you, what should I know about Pembroke Hospital?
Well, for many years, we have been the only medical facility in this part of town that people can rely on. We support the community here, as well as provide health care.
Where do we stand today?
Well, to be honest, we cope on a day-to-day basis. The first wave of the Spanish flu last summer took us by surprise. We lack many of the basic necessities needed.
What do you expect of me?
What we need is hope. You were a soldier. This is a war. This white coat's still a uniform. We fight to help the poor, the sick of the East End, the forgotten.
You mentioned something about a secret society. A brotherhood, if I recall. Could you elaborate?
Certainly. I've been a member of the Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole for several years. We are pledged to monitor and report vampire activity in England as impartial scientific observers.
That explains your nightly wanderings about the docks and the questions you ask.
I feel it wasn't mere coincidence that led us to that part of town. There was something as yet unseen that set those chain of events in motion.
Yet you don't fear me. And still, you know the monster that lurks beneath the civilized surface.
The Brotherhood has studied your kind for centuries. We believe you are as supernatural as a lion is to a gazelle.
That's one way to look at it.
Since you seem quite the expert on vampires, what could you tell me about my condition and how it came about?
As men of science, our first step is always to start with what we know. Forget the myths, the hackneyed scrawlings in the penny dreadfuls. They do not scratch the surface of the truth you now find yourself in.
The sun. The morning following my transformation. Its rays burned me. There was pain, smoke, and my skin blackened.
You will find there is very little that can kill a vampire, my friend. You have been offered relative immortality. The sun will most certainly hurt you, leaving you weakened and damaged, but it will not destroy you.
Must I take a life to live?
You are a vampire. You feed, and blood is the sole sustenance that can sustain your immortal frame. And only a living creature contains the nourishment you require.
Such a realistic way of looking at it.
The man we pursued and slew in the canning factory, William Bishop, I believe, was he a vampire?
He was a Skald, technically speaking. The debate rages as to their classification. Some think them a subspecies of vampire, others something else.
How do Skalds come into existence?
The name means slave. The etymology may indicate that they are a lesser species of vampire. From what I know, vampires tend to despise them.
Just for clarity, what differences are there between myself and a Skald?
A Skald is easier to eliminate, Jonathan, even if they remain formidable foes for the unprepared. Vampires... Now, vampires exist beyond the mortal realm.
We'll see each other again soon, Edgar.
Thus far, everyone's healthy. Not quite sure why I did that, but I think it's just because I want to try something different. Oh, it reset everything? this. Game crashed. Dude, that's so rough. Let's see, I hope it's safe.
overwhelmed by this horrifying epidemic.
Is this... Hey, Doc.
Have you heard of any underhand dealings going on in the hospital?
Blackmail? That's not my style. Too risky. The black market, though. Now that's where the money is.
I'll leave you.
When I get back, I'll have a word with Tom. He's really pissed me off.
Have you found...
Not yet.
All right.
I have all the information.
Thank you.
Mistress of the dark, stop following me.
The flu took my dear wife, Emily. I take comfort knowing we'll soon be together again.